Hi. Just see if this is operational. Some new news, guys. I don't know why I actually don't do this before I even go live, is set up all these banners. I should be doing this early. Give me a sec, guys. I should actually throw this up before anything else. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Let me just put this up. Give me a sec, guys. Okay. Ooh. Let's see what we got. Yeah, guys, my computer still isn't working, so I'm having to use iPad here, so that's why this is all a bit all over the place. Let's see. Okay, let's do that. Actually, you know what? Let me edit this a little bit better. Okay, let's do that. All right. All right, guys. So this is the latest news. It's actually very interesting. This is very interesting news, very important news about Mulan is going straight to Disney Plus and to what's it called? And to streaming. Okay, it's going straight to streaming and to Disney Plus, which is actually a big thing because this is one of the big cinematic releases, and the fact that they're doing this is going to set a precedent. It's going to set a precedent for other movie studios as well by doing this, because this is a major release, and we've also been, obviously people have been thinking about what's going to be happening between or due to the coronavirus pandemic quarantine situation and all these theaters being closed, and the fact that there's no end in sight to this situation, as in a concrete time as when cinemas will be fully operational and when people will be able to just go out and watch movies the way they used to. That's if they will even want to do that. So that's another conversation to be had. However, we already know that the two big movies that have been affected are Tenet and Mulan, which I'm talking about right now. Those are the two films or big cinematic releases that have been affected by this thing. And we know that Tenet is now supposed to be coming out in September, early September. And now Mulan is coming out early September. And this is the key. Mulan is now coming out the same weekend, which is a big thing for Tenet, because Tenet is only going to cinemas and not streaming on that weekend. See? So the key is that if people are going to now be deciding, and listen, I don't know if the market is going to there's going to be that much overlap, but there might be, because Mulan is like a family film. Tenet is not a family film, but the same people who might want to go and watch Tenet might decide to go with their family to do Mulan. You know what I'm saying? But I think what's compounding it is the fact that people who are scared to go out to the cinemas would opt for staying at home and watching Mulan instead. And that's the key factor here, is that they would actually that this might actually seriously affect the money that Tenet is going to make. And the amount of people that are going to go out to the cinema to actually watch that film. That's the key. Now, I don't know if, Mulan is going to do that kind of business, whether it's even going to be that big of a threat. But I think the real key is how many people are going to be willing to get out and go out to the cinema to watch Tenet. That's the real clincher here, especially when you're faced with a strong option of something else that you could see, because this is actually a very, very big deal. Like, the fact that a studio of that size are willing to um, our, our, how do I put it? Our oh God, I even lost my thread. Like basically, look, you have a situation where if a studio of this size is willing to do this, we know that AMC and Universal had their issues, and they came up with a 14-day window or 17-day window, I think, where a film would be released exclusively to the theater and then would come out on the Universal streaming networks or whatever. Now you have a situation where this kills that 17-day thing, because if studios are doing day and date streaming releases with cinematic releases, then other people doing 17-day windows and all that sort of stuff doesn't have any. I mean, it makes no impact, because if a big movie is coming out with a studio this weekend, and people know that, okay, the competing film, you have to wait 3 weeks to watch it at home, or you have to go out to the cinema. If this sort of plan works out, and we'll see if it does, we don't know how effective this is going to be. If this sort of plan works out, then people are going to just stay at home and watch that competing movie instead of going out to watch the other film. So that's the reason why this could be a big deal indeed. But we will see. I mean, look, I don't know what I'm going to do. I mean, am I willing to go to the cinema? Yeah, I mean, I am. But I'm not in the target high risk COVID thing, so people like me would be more willing to take the shot. It's not like I really want to get it, but I'm just saying, more willing to take the shot than millions of other people who it's just not worth the risk, even if it's not for them. But I living in a situation whereby there's nobody here that's staying with me that is in that bracket, you have more of a leeway to do those sorts of things. But if somebody is in that bracket, then it's a whole other situation. So, and there's millions of people in that position. So I think all these things would have to be factored in. And I think, look, you know what Disney are doing, I think this is in the direction most of the industry is going to have to go in if they're going to survive the new dawn. Because ironically, what Spielberg and Lucas were saying about the implosion of the business is now happening, not for the reasons they thought it would happen, but it's happening anyway, because after this is done, like next year or whatever, and going forward, nobody's going to be putting 250, 300 million into a movie anymore. Because what's the point? You're not going to be able to market it and push people out to go to the cinemas the way you used to before. So your profit margins are much less. And in fact, when there's so much competition on streaming networks, the quality of your work has to be a lot higher in order for you to have genuine competition. Anyway, that's my thoughts. Leave your comments below, of what you're thinking about what's going on and how this is going to impact the future of cinematic entertainment. Bay out, Spielberg in, always here. Stay tuned for the next transmission.